Hey Cubs fans, this episode is brought to you by J&K Beef Jerky, true American flavor. If you're looking for a legit go-to snack, this is it. J&K Beef Jerky is made from real cuts of beef and brisket, thick cut, full of bold flavor and actually satisfying. None of that thin, dry stuff. This is real, meaty jerky. They've got a variety of flavors too, from classic to sweet, spicy, and smoky. Head over to jkjerky.com and use code CLUB120 at checkout for a discount. That's jkjerky.com, code CLUB120.
Welcome to Club 120, the ultimate roundtable for diehard Cubs fans and lovers of all things sports and lifestyle.
Strike three, you're out.
Hosted by Neil and Nate, two former baseball players and coaches turned loudmouths with strong opinions and even stronger banner. Get ready for quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and the occasional heated debate. From analyzing Cubs on-field action to diving into off-field drama, no topic is off limits. So grab your glove, pour a drink, and pull up a seat at Club 120, where the banner's quick, the takes are hot, and the Cubs always come first. Let's get started.
Play ball.
Hello, Cubs friends. It's 120. You know what that means. Time to grab an old style and a bleacher seat. You're in Club 120. Let's talk Cubs. I'm Nate, and with me, as always, is a man who knows you don't need a video replay on a walk. Neil, what's on today's card, Coach?
Oh, yeah, you had to. You just had to do it, didn't you? Oh, man, big show today. Thanks for all of you who are tuning in, however it is you tune in. However you take us in, we couldn't appreciate you more. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for hanging with us. Big show today, man. Big show. Public Enemy PCA is our first topic. Then pitching Peril. Then our third topic is open auditions. What's more important to the Cubs' playoff hopes? PCA continuing to play like a king, or maybe somebody else joining the party. Then we'll move into Bullpen Blips. And finally, our topic of the week, are we good or just good enough? Man, what a show. What a show, man. I am pumped. Seems like we just did this. I'm ready to get going again, though. Here we go. And apparently all we need to do is talk some shit about Dansby Swanson, and he shows up, brother.
Anybody, like, who's up? Like, what? Like, I guess we'll see who's next on the show today, because, you know, we're definitely lining up a few bodies here as far as motivational body counts. And, kudos to you. You know, you used a really good analogy about the water and it finds its level. And, you know, those old proverbs, they seem to always come true.
Right. Okay, so first topic, Public Enemy.
Public Enemy PCA.
Is Pete Crow-Armstrong becoming MLB's next great villain? Or is he simply becoming too good for the rest of baseball to ignore?
Ooh, good question. When we were looking over this one, trying to, understand PCA is obviously an enigma in and of itself. But when you look at villains, I looked at it, those popped up. And, some of those are, still the guys that aren't in the Hall of Fame. You've got your Roger Clemens throwing a bat, right? You've got some prime Barry Bonds hate. But I think the best one is closest to PCA is the guy he grew up on, which is Bryce Harper. And I think he's subscribes and always has subscribed to the Make Baseball Fun Again crowd, and push that edge and that envelope. And I think that's probably his closest villain, doppelganger, if you will, as I kind of evaluated this. But, baseball needs characters, Neil. The personalities, there's a lot of brand toast out there still. And baseball does not do a great job of marketing personality. So sometimes it takes guys like PCA to break through that a little bit. The best part about it, though, is he's good. So he's not just, he's not just a jerk player who's, oh man, that kid, he's the Cubs killers, right? You got your list of Cubs killers. He's not that, right? He's fearful in the box now, and it's changing the game. So would you rather be feared or, the pesky guy, right? I guess that's the biggest question, and I think we got the best answer.
Yeah, okay. So I agree with everything you said, but I have written down is he becoming MLB's next great villain, or is are opposing fans just mad because he's good?
I mean, haters gonna hate.
100%. And like we talked about last week, we kind of touched on this a little bit last week. Like he didn't do himself any favors with the White Sox incident and talking about how the late arriving fans in LA and uninterested fans and things like that. But I don't think he's playing into the villain card. I think he's just like, these are observations I've made my first 3 years in the league, and I don't want to be anywhere but Chicago. I think you have to say those things, I think, to make your fan base fall in love with you. And the fact of the matter is, if Chicago Cubs fans love you, White Sox fans automatically have to hate you. It's in the contract.
Right.
Like, it's part of the deal. But, I've got a couple things written down here that baseball, in my opinion, needs, and that's personalities. Like, the last great villain, like you mentioned, was Bryce Harper, and he's doing everything he can now to not be the villain. Like, wake up with me and brush your teeth, and like he's posting these TikTok videos and Instagram reels of get ready with me, and like he's trying to humanize himself. And I think that comes with being a father and things that, like, you see how opposing family treat you, and then you get a glimpse of that through your child's eyes. Like, why does everyone hate my dad?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's maybe softened a little bit there in Bryce, and I don't know if that's why. I kind of think that's why. But would you rather have a superstar that everyone loves, or i.e. a Mike Trout, somebody like that, or would you rather have a superstar that the rest of the league reveres or hates?
Oh, I mean, that's really the question that we're answering, right? I guess the question, the flip side of the follow-up question there, Neil, is why isn't PCA getting the love on the national stage? Because he does a lot of the things that people like, the hustle things and the great defense and the diving plays, and he's on the highlight reels and he's on ESPN. I mean, he's not lacking FaceTime.
No, what was it yesterday? There's 31 Major League Baseball players ahead of him in All-Star voting.
Yeah. So at what point, and this is, I don't want to get into the All-Star voting per se, but it is a court of public opinion. It's a good poll. It's not a bad poll. I think you can vote multiple times, so I guess you can kind of stuff your ballots. But he did go after a couple fan bases, and those are some of them ones that are stuffing the ballots right now. So to answer your question, I would rather have the guy that everybody hates, as long as he's feared, right? And that fear wins ball games. He lives rent free in their heads. The amount of fan bases that he's living rent free in right now is growing by the week.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. And that's, I think, the best fun here. Look, you need that. We need that. We aren't the Dodgers. Everybody should have that chip on their shoulder, that we don't care attitude, because they clearly don't care. They're playing by their own rules in their own league. And it's for the same trophy, though. So, I think we embrace it. I don't think he has to fully embrace being a bad guy. I don't think Pete's a bad guy.
No.
I just think people like to get after him.
Yeah, and the celebrations and the things like that, like, but it all goes back to the same stuff. Like, I'm just saying, if players acted like Pete in our day, it wouldn't end well for them.
No.
But he's not even close to the top 20 worst guys on the list as far as celebrating or taking their, 2 minutes to get around the base paths when they hit a home run. Like, he's not even on the top 20 of that list.
Here's what I like, Neil, about the whole thing. Is the pressure cooker that this is putting him in again, right? He's back in this spotlight, just like he was in the first half of last season. But he's making adjustments, and he's not running into pitches like he was last year, right? Like, the book wasn't out on him just yet. They were throwing in his hot zones. This is real, right? And so you can see the growth and development. I think the pressure cooker becomes real at the later we get in the season. And, can he handle this hate in every town, the booing of PCA, or the the bleacher creatures of every town chattering, getting louder and louder. Can he handle that and still maintain that level of focus that it's taken to make those adjustments to put him on the stage that he is now?
Yeah. Okay, well, PCA is carrying the spotlight. The Cubs keep losing pieces around him.
Pitching Peril.
In the last 24 hours, we have seen 2 starting pitchers hit the IL. One of them is a 15-day stint that's, maybe needs a new hotel room bed or a masseuse. The other one is one that I haven't seen today, any updates, but after watching last night, I don't see how that's not season ending.
Yeah, that looked structural, didn't it?
I pulled a hammy before, and it's not to where you can't walk.
No. I've pulled a groin before, and I could still manage. I mean, there was some severe level of pain. It's almost like when he stretched that like that, I felt like he almost popped his hip out or something like that. And we haven't gotten that far yet as far as what they've given us as far as the medical evaluation from Cubs staff, which we never are going to get a clear story from them anyway.
Right.
So we'll have to live with the adductor, which is a large muscle, right? Large, small muscle thing, which can last for months. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Could it be season ending? You said it last night. We won't have to watch that again. And it might be true. But Neil, this is a bigger question. Isn't this the second year now we're going through this? Oh, we have depth. We have extra starters. We have Colin Ray as a luxury bonus, and he's going to lead the team again in innings. So is this bigger than availability as a skill? I mean, is that all this is?
Well, you posed this question when we were kind of organizing the show and putting things in order. The question you posed is at what point does next man up become we ran out of men?
Yeah.
And, I got to be honest. I think we're there. I think we're there. Greg Huss is a great follow on Twitter, and he's throwing guys out that, this guy's probably going to be a Cub. This guy's probably going to be a Cub. This guy's, the Cubs should go get this guy. And that's interesting stuff to go look at and go follow, because I don't think we can limp to the All-Star break. Like that's what Craig, I don't know if you saw any post-game comments from Craig last night. That's what it was all about, was like, we just have to limp to the All-Star break. Like, if we can just limp to the All-Star break, I don't think we're getting there. Like, I just don't. I don't think we're going to make it that far.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we can cycle enough guys off the injured list in time, right? Like, we're averaging 2 guys now at least a week, and they're not coming back that fast. I guess Boyd is going to throw tomorrow, so that's great, but we just lost 2. So
yeah, and one of the things that I thought was interesting was yesterday they optioned Hollowell.
Yeah.
But today, because it's a doubleheader, we get an extra man. We get a 27th man.
Right.
So I was shocked to see that he wasn't optioned, but stay the night.
Right.
And then put right back on, but he wasn't. So that was interesting. Is pitching depth a strength or just an illusion until injuries hit?
Yeah, an illusion. I mean, you do this in recruiting, right? And obviously you have limits in certain areas now in college as far as roster limits and things like that. But you'll never talk to a coach and say, man, I've got too much pitching. Like there's never been a baseball coach that's been like, yeah, man, I don't know how I can get all these innings in. Especially in the bigs, man. That's what Craig is really inciting. Is like, I need 9 innings times 13 games. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, that's all I need. Like, how do I get 9 and how many of those can I keep at 0 or 1 as far as the number that inning represents as runs allowed, right? Like, that's all he's trying to do right now with the math in his head. Every time he goes out there and he makes a change, or when he's trying to make a change, it's like, how many more zeros can I get out of this guy before it's a really crooked number and we can't keep up?
Yep.
But it looks like started to put some crooked numbers up. So does that help, right? Like, can we buoy this? or without buying, can we buoy this offensively, Neil? Can the Cubs buoy this offensively till the All-Star break without having to buy early?
Was Dansby going to hit?
I mean, it's a tidal wave.
Yeah, I mean, if Dansby continues to go 2 for 4 with 7 RBIs every night, I think we're going to be just fine. But we talked about it for 2 weeks in a row. Like the numbers from Dansby are going to have to be historic for him to level off, and we're reaching that point where like 2 games in a row where he's 2 for 4, and like today in the early game he had 7 RBIs.
Right.
So, last night I think he was it a 3-run home run he hit or.
Yeah, he's got 3 jacks on the trip so far. We're leaking into the next one here, so maybe we just introduce that next one here as that.
Yeah, so that leads directly to our next question is our next topic.
Open auditions.
What's more important to the Cubs' playoff hopes? PCA continuing to play like an MVP, or somebody else finally joining him as an offensive co-star?
It's got to be the co-star because he's going to regress. So, by 10%, by 20%, right? I mean,
PCA is not going to finish the year hitting 400.
Right. So he's going to level off. And again, we've already been through this as far as Pete's value to this club. This is otherworldly. This is what I have written down here, Neil, is I'll use another reference. And this will be a throwback to you. Rising tides raise all boats. What if Pete is the tide?
Yeah, well, we got to get Bregman off the boat.
He's just treading, man.
Or get him on the boat, one of the two.
On a boat, right? He's not in a boat. He's not rising. I guess you can feel it. Maybe it took long enough, and maybe that's just it. Is that he was just standing up on one end here, just like a titan, and then that's the water is just going to be rushing to the other side to level this. I would fear what a series would look like if he goes like 1 for 18.
Yeah, I know that we've never shied away from it on this show, but I know you're not allowed to blame counsel for anything, but why I don't understand why he's hitting in the 2 spot.
Are we on Bregman here? Bregman?
Yeah.
Oh.
The number of high leverage at bats that he's getting are way too many.
Well, we don't have. Here's the problem. I don't think we now have a leadoff guy. Great, we found it, right? And that took a while to settle in on. Coming off of Ian Happ from the middle of 2024, right? That's been a search for a year and a half on what the Cubs' next leadoff situation looks like. After that is a mess right now. We have a lot of 6, 7, 8, 9 guys, and we don't have a lot of 2, 3, 4 guys that understand what that role and requires, including hitting behind PCA. Every night, Bregman is swinging on a PCA straight steal, and it's insane.
Yeah, twice last night. What? So who's the guy for you? The title of this segment is open auditions. So who's the guy? If we've got the other 8 guys, 9 guys, if you want to count Conforto and some of the other, Matt Shaw, who's the guy? Who's the number 2 guy that's going to step up?
I don't know if it's a number 2, but here's how I look at it. Why can't it be Matt Shaw? Maybe that's what the Cubs need, is another chaos creator. And Matt Shaw just needs to prove that he can do that consistently. He steals bases. He's the hustle guy. He plays good defense. He does the things that PCA does. He plays PCA brand of baseball. And that's what this team needs. And maybe that's what we need, is more chaos while these other guys round out their seasons. And everybody else levels off. And we see them slowly do it here or there, week by week. Or they do it like Dansby in waves, which is fantastic. But through that all is a guy like Matt Shaw, who's just going to go out there and create chaos 4 nights a week.
Yeah. So who's in your mind right now, who's the most important Cub not named PCA?
I mean, to me, the open audition here, I think Matt Shaw can step right into it. I'll stand on what I said. The rest of the guys, I think, are going to do exactly what I believe, and that's round out their seasons.
So you believe the most important Cub named PCA is a guy who's not in the lineup every day.
And that's the problem. Craig said as much. And last week, as we look at this last week, the Cubs are what, 8-2? And besides today, Matt Shaw's been playing more consistently 4 or 5 nights a week. And this offense has slowly come back around. And these guys are slowly waking up. And they're slowly realizing that, hey, my 2 at-bats matter, or Matt Shaw will take my last at-bat of the night. So, yes, he's raising the bar for the guys that are around him. I believe that. Sure. Because now at-bats are scarce again. Pedro Ramirez is making at-bats scarce again. We joked about it, and I don't think that this happened, but we joked about how Dansby got going, and Craig just told him, hey, you got 2 at-bats or Pedro's taking the rest of the way. Like, we can't have you going 0 for 4 every night. I'm going to give you 2 at-bats as the veteran to set your tone for the night, and if you don't have it, go on. We'll come back the next night because I'm going to respect you as the guy, but I don't think that happened, but I could see that motivating a guy and putting that in a position.
So I'm really excited about getting to the next topic, but before we get there, I want to kind of stay on this topic a little bit as far as open auditions go.
Okay.
But I want to turn it and face some of our young talent.
Yep.
So there was a little bit of I don't know what the word you want to use, hubbub, scuttlebutt, I don't know, online that Craig just really must hate Kevin Alcantara if we are going to send Mo Baller down and bring up this Justin Dean cat. I freaking love him. I mean, I thought PCA was fast. Like, Jiminy Christmas, this guy is so freaking quick.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh. And he can hit the ball. Like, he can hit. Like,
he's in a he's a gamer kind of guy. He's the guy. Remember at the beginning of the year when we were going through the roster and I was like, hey, do you remember the World Series where the guy just put his hands up? He never actually got an official at bat. Like, he just entered defensively in that inning. And that ground rule double for the Dodgers where he put his hands up and saved the day, that was Justin Dean. Like, he's just a gamer guy.
Yeah, like I think the kid can play. I'm not mad at the move. I understand why people are, if we're not going to give Kevin a chance now with sending Mo Baller down, then are you ever? Like, why don't you just trade him?
He doesn't have value. He doesn't. That's the problem with him.
Yeah, 100%.
There's and there is some limited quantity there. I mean, I think he's got a shot to make the roster next year, depending on what they do free agency wise. But I think this year is a foregone conclusion for Kevin Alcantara. And yes, Justin Dean has a 7th, 8th, 9th inning pinch running situation. Hey, guess what? He's probably actually going to start today. He's going to start the Wednesday second game or the getaway day in center. Or Matt Shaw does. PCA is going to get one of these games off.
I don't know. What, can you give a guy on a heater like that the day off?
Well, I mean, no, but he didn't exactly have the best first game here in the first doubleheader. So, in your opinion, where do you lean and where do you look? Are you looking more veteran here as far as who's going to star in this second half for the Cubs?
Yeah, I'm gonna need Michael Busch to heat it up a little bit. I'm going to shout out Dan. Dan tweeted today that Dansby is rapidly approaching the Mendoza line. I'm gonna need him to get over that Mendoza hump and start trending towards 220, 230.
Yeah. Do we issue like a tidal? Is there a tidal wave warning? Tsunami? Like, what do we do here when?
Yeah, I mean, I think we do. I think we need to start the Dansby tidal wave campaign. Like, we need to sound the alarms on the.
but we'll look into it before game 2 because that's 3 jacks already in New York, man. What a road trip. He just needed a little vacay, a little Big Apple.
Yeah. I know what we're not allowed to say here.
Right,
Cody?
man.
So while we're talking about carrying the team,
Bullpen Blips.
do the Cubs have a bad bullpen or bad bullpen memories? This is why I cannot wait to get to this topic because Nate has a bullpen question of the day to open the segment.
Okay, so where's this at here? Let's get to it here. This is a good, 5:40 this morning. I'm on my walk and I'm going, something's not adding up here. And I feel like maybe I need some better perspective. So I asked this question and I said, what dates did the Cubs DFA Ryan Presley and Hector Neris respectively? And my little computer in my hand spit back out. Ryan Presley DFA July 31. Hector Neris DFA August 20th. Brother, we still would have had 6 more weeks of Jan to deal with.
God love it.
I mean, we are not in the thick of it yet. The leash is so long for these guys. So that's why I named this bullpen blips because, wow, we are fed up with some guys, but we've dealt with a lot more. So I think we might be just dealing with bullpen memories of these guys and just jettison a veteran and it fixes everything. But I think somebody's broken.
Oh yeah.
And I think we need to look squarely at it because then you asked me another question. And I said, happy you asked, right? Because you said, what did we pay Presley and what are we paying Phil Maton? And I said, I'm happy you asked. So it had me break down Hector Neris, Ryan Presley, and Phil Maton. Hector had a 1-year, $9 million deal. Ryan Presley was on an existing 1-year deal because of the trade. And Phil Maton is on a 2-year, 14.5, and a club option, brother. What do you think, and how do you make that club option and the extra time here? Is this an experiment for the spin doctor that we're going to have to just keep watching at 3 nights a week?
Well, I hope. I mean, the club option. Obviously, we don't have to take it. So, at the most, we would owe him the balance of this year. Whatever, we're not halfway. So, actually, we are halfway. That was yesterday was game 83. This morning was game 82 because of the rainout. So, we're at 83 games. I mean, we're right at halfway.
Yeah.
To 162. So, so we would owe him 7.25 for this year, and then another 14.5.
No, I think he's on a 2. I don't think we're paying him 14 a year. I think it's 7.5.
I thought it was.
No, he's
$5 million too.
Closing money, but he's getting a lot of money to. And the fun facts about Phil Maton here, I know we've all been through this before, maybe, but let's refresh. Phil Maton has never thrown in the playoffs.
Well,
he's never closed games. Like he's never been a closer. So we're paying, we did a multi-year deal for a guy that doesn't have a pedigree as far as winning.
We can't go making sense and talking about playoff wins and all that because the greatest manager in all of baseball is 1-5 in playoff series. And yet he's the highest paid manager in baseball. So apparently playoff wins don't count, aren't double weighted like they should be. They're just like a regular season game.
So what names do you when the bullpen door opens, what names are you hoping are called?
I like Webb. I like oh shoot, who closed it last night?
The new guy?
No. Right before him. I like Rollison. I like it wasn't Rollison though. We went Rollison. We went.
Oh no, pull it up.
Come on. I think he's the next Theo. Huh?
Colby Milner?
No. I don't mind Hobie. I don't think
I like him when he's the fireman. I don't like he's okay if there's traffic.
who am I missing here?
him.
Who is the new the donkey we got rid of? We got the new donkey.
Thornton?
Nope.
Let's see here. Last night, Cubs roll with Cabrera, Milner, Maton, Rollison, Murray.
No, then he didn't throw last night. But Rollison I would put as my number one reliever right now.
Yeah. When that bullpen door opens, man, it's quite an adventure. Webb needs a clean inning. You got to start him. I hate when he does not get a clean inning. He struggles. When you give him a clean 7th, 8th, or 9th to start, he does well. We're learning, and that's what that pullback did. Was there some venom in there for Phil Maton? Yes, because he just flat out does not compete in the zone. And that's a problem. And that's where Ethan Roberts gets into trouble too. When they don't compete in the zone and they try to spin it through the zone and they try to just get chase, and they forget that we have to hunt strike one before we get to chase. It makes for a really bumpy ride. And I don't know if there's going to be anybody that's going to rattle that cage enough before somebody gets cut or not to fix it, because there's too many guys that don't want to throw it through the zone on a nightly basis. It seems like one guy a night is having trouble with that right now, and it's frustrating.
Oh my gosh, it's beyond frustrating. I think Theobar has struggled as of late, and he would have been somebody on my list that.
Yeah, before that injury, right? I mean, he was closing games throwing 96, 97, and we're like, shoot. And then he had that little hammy. So maybe that's just going to take some time for him. He might not be just fully well. But
yeah, I like Webb. I like Theobar. I like Milner, Rollison.
So here's a good question. Let's look at it this way from Craig's standpoint, because Craig's been very public about how he's handled the bullpen this season from the beginning, switching the approach to Daniel Palencia, right? The road is to Daniel. Should Craig publicly change the strategy and come out and say, I'm looking for outgetters, and just rattle the cage and go with it and just be public?
Yeah. So I was on my way here, so I did not get to watch the bottom of the ninth. Who threw the bottom of the ninth?
The new guy.
Jaden Murray?
Yeah.
He threw the bottom of the ninth last night and tonight?
No, today was Ferguson.
Okay.
27th man.
Okay.
I don't know if his number was 27, but he should be.
Yeah, okay, so the question I have for you is, do you trust the bullpen more today than you did a month ago?
I trust Rollison, Webb, and Milner more than I think I did. But there's a lot of questions still down there. Like, which version of Ethan Roberts are you going to get tonight? There's a lot of crooked numbers still coming out there, and that's scary.
Yeah, okay. It is scary. I 100% agree. But I guess the positive for me is there is a positive version of Ethan Roberts. There's a bad Ethan and good Ethan. There is no good Phil.
It's
like there's not, like I'm not. The guy's a major leaguer. He's a pro. Like, nope. I hate, like, he had to do a lot of things right, and he had to play a lot of good baseball to get to the level he's at, and he had to be a dog to get to where he's at. But the brothers lost it.
His whip is like 1.8. That's walks plus hits per innings pitched. So basically 2 guys are getting on every time he throws.
Yeah, it's awful. I mean, it's just hard to watch, and like, but all of it, I hate to go back to a topic, but when we were talking about pitching Peril, I had a question written down here that we didn't get to, and this is kind of in the same lane.
Yeah.
Is what's more concerning for you, like when our guys are throwing, injuries that we've already suffered, or the ones that we're waiting to happen? Like today, even the first pitch I saw, I was listening to the game. I wasn't able to watch it, and then I got to a spot where I could watch it. I turned it on, and Javi Assad throws a ball so far out of the zone. Boog was like, "That wasn't even close." Like, that's what he said on the broadcast. He's like, "That wasn't even close." And I looked at Javi, and he like stepped sideways off the mound, and I'm just like, "Here we go."
Yep.
Like, now he's hurt.
Yeah.
Like, that's what instantly goes through my head. Like, as soon as a pitcher steps funny off the rubber or throws a ball too far out of the zone, I'm like, well, there it goes. He's done. Like, that I think that scares me more than all the injuries we've already had.
I don't know where we go after this, as far as how we continue to put a 5-man rotation out there. But yeah, we're at that point where the next man up is the next where we're out. You know, we're literally calling up prospects just to throw. They're making their major league debut because we flat out can't field 5 dudes that we think can get us 15 outs.
Yeah. So that brings us to the biggest question about this team.
Good or good enough?
The Cubs are 7-3. I think 8-2 now in their last 10, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Are they actually playing better baseball, or are they surviving on PCA heroics and duct tape?
Yeah. I think that's the question there becomes, if PCA cooled off tomorrow, the biggest question, I think, Neil, wouldn't be whether the Cubs are a playoff team. It's whether we had enough offense to be a playoff team in the first place. Because the reality is he's only just been covering for these dudes who just flat out can't hit. PCA is not a 400 hitter. So he's just been hitting Ian's home runs this week, or Dansby's home runs this week, or he's picking up Suzuki's RBIs. You know what I mean? Like, that's all he's doing. We're not going to have some massive offensive explosion, I don't believe, unless everybody just wakes up and decides they all want to do it at the same time. So, but that's the question. Did we ever have enough offense to begin with? Because this is historic from PCA, but he's probably going to end up in the 265 range. Like, I'm going to take a deep breath and be calm with it. But, you know, that's real.
So I do believe the Cubs are playing better baseball. Like, you know, I think we're hitting with runners on.
Mm-hmm.
I think those things are happening. And when it was bad, it was bad. Like, we were kicking the ball around the yard. We were, you know, last night was atrocious on the base paths.
There's a lot going on.
Like, I mean, we're not going to talk about the one at second base, but Shaw getting picked off was just not paying attention. Like, you literally were just caught off guard in a Major League Baseball game. Like that's stuff that can't happen. But I do think we are playing good baseball. And this is, you know, the question I have is, would you rather be playing good baseball and losing, or average baseball and winning? And I think the good baseball for me, like, if we play a good game and we score, you know, we just get out hit or outran, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can live with that. It's the going 0 for 9 with guys in scoring position that is absolutely unacceptable.
Or not moving a runner, even accidentally. Like, we've been much better about that. Like, you can tell we got beat on that pitch, but I'm not getting beat without pushing this thing to the right side or the opposite way. You know, there I believe has been some development of an approach beyond just PCAs. I think the lineup is getting better as far as production is concerned.
Yeah, but I worry what this team looks like if PCA goes cold.
it's a. But does PCA ever go cold? I mean, that's the beauty of PCA, right? I mean, we said it at the beginning of the year. He can hit 235, 240 for his career and be a Hall of Famer easily, simply because 3 days a week he's going to be on the highlight reel and he's saving runs. He's saving you 3 to 5 runs a week.
Yeah, when PCA is cold, he's 1 for 4.
Yeah, or 0 for 4 or 0 for 3 with a walk and a stolen base, right? He still creates chaos, right? Like, he impacts the game because of he has 5 tools. And now that he's using the 6th tool, the brain tool, where he has an approach and he's, he's controlling his emotions to channel them through and all that fun stuff, man. Yeah. But it's a concern because this offense seems so streaky and they seem to be doing it together. And that's a dangerous combo when guys seem to want to just run together with it. It's fine when they're hot, right? Like, hey, when everybody's hitting, that's a fun locker room.
Right.
But when one dude is just holding this whole thing up, man, he's got to be feeling, there's got to be some nights where he's feeling pretty good at dinner, even though there's some dudes that aren't.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's gotta, and I think Pete's the kind of guy that, within the clubhouse, that goes both ways. Like, that goes 2 ways. Like, he's like, come on, let's go. Right. But also there's new expectations there. And I think him making those adjustments, him showing the accountability to be a better hitter and to be physically changing himself to be better has made the rest of the guys in that room look in the mirror first. And that's what really needed to happen over this last month and a half, was every single one of those guys had to finally look at themselves in the mirror. Right. And you're starting to see them wake up. And I think that's what we're waiting on right now, is each one of those guys has to be convicted enough to make some changes in their game this season, because they aren't the kid who they were last year. They aren't the kid who they were last year, and we always can't we can't forget that as ball players. We aren't the guy who we were yesterday. It's a different guy on the mound. We have to evolve. We have to keep changing. And there's some vets in that locker room that are getting that wake-up call right now, and some of them are getting it right on time. Paydays are coming up or just got paid, right? So that's there. I got one more here. As far as the good or good enough, because there was some questions this week about Nico and his approach and the front office. Was Nico not good enough? Did they not just give him a contract? Why did they try to go make him gooder?
That's a question. Well, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. I don't know why you mess with a guy hitting 300. And there's both sides to this that you see. You see people that are upset that he was messed with, and then you see people upset that he wasn't mature enough to say, "I'm a pro, leave me alone." So I don't know. I don't know if you ever outgrow being coachable. I tell my guys all the time, like, you sign a shoe contract, you can start doing whatever you want. You can start doing it your way.
Right.
But until then, like, we're gonna do things as a program. Like you go get an endorsement deal, then come talk to me. Like, until then, we're gonna do things the way we want them done. And I don't know where that I've never been a professional athlete. So I don't know where that balance is.
Do you feel like he leaned into the club and what they were asking to because of the contract?
I don't know if it's because of the contract or if it's because of being like we talked about Dansby last week, like, just being a genuinely good human. Like, this is a coach. This is someone in an authority role. Mm-hmm. So I am going to receive the feedback and I am going to try and implement it because the organization that is cutting my check is telling me to do it. And, you know, I mean, I don't know how it goes with plugging, but the lovable reunion that has been going, those clips, and the ones I love are where Rizzo. There was one I watched just this week where Rizzo's talking to the, which is funny because he was the hitting coach in the 2016 team, but now he's on our staff. Maley, now he's an assistant hitting coach. I don't know how you went from the World Series hitting coach to an assistant under Dustin Kelly, but that's neither here nor there. So he told Maley would come to him and say, this guy's 70% this, he's 30% this, he's this, this is what he throws, this is what he, and he's like, Males, like, listen, I don't want that information. Like, I don't care about your numbers. I don't care that you're being fed these numbers and are supposed to tell us this. Save it. Give it to the guys who want it. What I want to know is, how's he going to try and get me out? When I have 2 strikes, where's he going? That's all I want you to tell me. And I'm not saying Rizzo wasn't coachable. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I think at a certain point, you've earned the right to push back and say, thank you for your information. But that's not how I want it delivered. That's not what I want. And I think Nico, I think he's there in my mind. I just don't know if he's there in his mind.
He did it in 24. I don't know if that was him or the club, right? He did that whole, I want to bulk up over the winter and add 15 pounds and
power hitter.
Right. And we saw what that drew then. And then he got back to his roots last year. Vintage Nico was the theme last year. We're back to it again. It's like a cyclical power craving that Nico has. And they probably paint a really pretty picture, right? They bring the graphs out, they bring the iPad, they show what it would look like if you just did it just these small things. If you just try to hit it in these parts of the park, or this is where your doubles could get better. How's he going to get me out with 2? Right? At some point, like, it just has to make sense. Hitters hit, and Nico is a bad ball hitter. He slashes the ball around the park. His doubles are down the line. They're not in the air. And you got to just accept where guys are good enough and why they're here. We're just hoping the rest of them get to where they were and playing to their paper. And that's all we're waiting on right now. Is this team's a good baseball team. I don't know if they're good enough to make a run, Neil, until the veterans start playing to their paper and they find somebody else to create some chaos. And that's what we're waiting on every night, because PCA is a new standard, and we're just waiting on who's going to play the supporting role on a nightly basis.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's it for us. We are way over time. So, as always, this might as well just be the new time. Like, it is what it is.
An hour shift, folks. Buckle up.
But that's all for us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. However it is you take us in, we couldn't do it without you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Like, follow, subscribe at Club 120 Show or online, www.club120show.com. That's all for us. Go Cubs, go.
Go Cubs, go.
This has been Club 120. Neil and Nate have practically spent their entire lives doing something centered around baseball. And with these guys, you're going to get quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and, yes, heated debates. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you can find us on all social media platforms at Club 120 Show. And, of course, the website at www.club120show.com. Until next time, go Cubs, go!
This podcast was produced and recorded by Vocal Media Solutions. Unauthorized reproduction or redistribution without written consent is strictly prohibited. Interested in launching your own show? Visit vocalmediasolutions.com to get started.